Well, good morning, my self-reliant peeps. I believe we've had the onion snow. There's snow on the ground, and it's a little cold outside, so I think what today is we're getting back to the pool heater. Now, I said I wanted to learn new things. Well, unfortunately, I'm learning about plumbing, which I've never really done before. I've seen it done. I've been around people that did it. It seemed easy enough until I met my first problem. And so I'll show you. Okay, when I first started this, I went with 3/4 inch tubing because I thought 3/4 inch would bring more hot water into it. So everything I ordered, couplings, 3/4, a straight tubing, 3/4 inch, and then of course 3/4 inch rolled coil tubing. What I did not realize was this. This is a dry fit. Perfect, nice tight fit. You go to the coil tubing. See if you can see that. That's not a tight fit. And so after research, I found out that coil tubing, and perhaps a lot of you knew this, coil tubing outside diameter is 3/4 inches. Straight tubing is 3/4 inches inside diameter. So the outside diameter is 7/8. So I'm waiting for a reducer to come. I've been to Lowe's, Home Depot, nobody had a 7/8 to 3/4 reducer. So as a result, now that's outside diameter. So as a result, I'm waiting for the reducer to come from Amazon. And then we can proceed. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is see if we can tighten some of these together. I'm not sure I can get this one tightened because of the twist in it. However, I'm pretty sure I can tighten some of these. And then as soon as my reducers come, we can proceed. Okay, I think what we're going to do first is plug some holes. There's a lot of holes in here from attaching clamps where we didn't want it, changing design. So I'm going to plug holes with JB Weld and some screws. Now, however, I just bought the JB Weld and can't find it. Oh, there it is. Imagine that, I hung it up. Okay, JB Weld is 1-to-1 ratio. All right, let's get this last one in. Okay, I think that plugs all the holes. that I know of at this point. Well, the stuff came from Amazon. So here's the reducer, 7/8 to 3/4 inside diameter. So let's see if it fits. Let's hope it fits. All right, this is the straight pipe. There we go. All right, that fits. All right, let's go down and let's hope. This is where I had problems before, so with the coil tubing. So let's head down here. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Happy dance. That's great. Okay, we got the plumbing. Now that's done. All I want to do is tighten up some of these coils. And then we can start soldering. Get the burrs off it. All right, this is what I've been most worried about is, so I'm cleaning the inside of the piping like it said to. I guess you're supposed to scratch it up a bit. It's all clean. Now it was hard to get a 7/8 reducer to a 3/4 reducer with it that was a 90-degree connector. So I went up to, I went to a lot of box stores and couldn't find anything. I was online trying to buy something. Very confusing. So I ended up going to a local guy that, honestly, I thought it was just his like warehouse where he would get supplies. But here, since the 50s, he's been selling parts. Didn't even know that in all these years. So at any rate, I went up to him. I think he's now like 85. And he only comes in half a day, probably to talk to people. And at any rate, he showed me how to do it. He didn't have the part I wanted. However, he showed me how I could get around it and do it. And so that's what we're doing. Right now, I'm just cleaning up my parts. He said to keep everything clean and don't touch it after I've cleaned it, so that I don't get the oils from my hands on it. All right, we got the flux on. And now we're gonna okay. All right. Now put a reducer on. They say to heat from the bottom, so that's what we're going to do, since heat rises. Well, that joint on that side doesn't look good. All right. Not sure how to test it because I need water to flow through it. So I might be, redoing some of these joints once the pool. All right, the last thing we have to do is the flue. I have everything done. We've got some gaps, but that's only because the coil got twisted. And I have everything soldered on. Now, these are pretty long, but once I get up to the pool, I can see where I want to cut it, where I'm going to place it. I'll cut it then, and then I have some shark bites that can go on. We don't have to solder. So that'll be done later when I get it up to the pool.